Not bad.
We are now being joined by Sergio Pettis.
Like me still?
I think so.
Go ahead, Nolan.
And the new Bellator bantamweight champ. How does that sound?
Sounds amazing, man. I worked hard for this moment. I was prepping for a fight in February. Got pushed back till May, so it just gave me that much more time to prepare and believe in myself. And it just showed tonight. Everything came together.
And I feel like for so long, people have been pegging you as the next champion, the next big thing. When you're in the UFC, is there some sort of weight lifted off your shoulders now that you're finally sitting up there with some gold in front of you?
I think the weight got lifted off my shoulders once I got more mature and just gained just a different mentality, man. I used to let that weight crush me, and now I just feel like things are okay. Things are okay to be me and to be in this moment. It feels amazing.
For sure. And I mean, you went out there, it was a competitive fight, but largely you dominated on the judges' scorecard. One judge gave you all 5 rounds. So, I mean, did you surprise yourself a little bit out there tonight at all?
No, man. I just stuck to what I know, the basics, stayed true to myself. Didn't allow his movement to scare my movement. I was more worried about what I was going to do instead of what he was going to do. And I was myself tonight, man. I was trying to flow like water, and I feel like I did.
Sergio, I know it's tough to kind of score your own fight while you're in there, but 4-1 seemed like a popular pick. Some people thought it was 5-0. How did you see it while you were in there?
I wasn't really paid attention to any of that. I was just focused on the objective, which was to pick them apart. I'm a little piranha out there, man. I just nick away and try to get people to get frustrated and bring them out of their game, which I think I feel like I did tonight. He was very frustrated, and I was able to get the better exchange, use better math than him, hit better angles, and my calculations were just on point.
A lot of strikers will say, and it's kind of cliche in MMA, that, I plan on turning this great striker into a wrestler. It seemed like tonight you turned the great wrestler into a striker in a way, and you were able to implement your own game plan the way you wanted to do it. Were you surprised that he stayed on the feet with you as long as he did?
No, I wasn't surprised. I know he likes to keep it standing. He's a tough guy, and I feel like he just has an ego that he had a better striking game plan than I did. Also I had Mark Cholinsky helping me with my wrestling takedown defense, and it was just on point tonight, man. He couldn't really do nothing. He got me with a nice little slam when I went for the guillotine, kind of did like a little front flip over his head. I was like, oh shit. But, nothing really hurt me, honestly, at all. So I felt good, man. I was calm, calculated, and composed.
So you go from the hunter to the hunted.
Yes,
How does
sir.
that feel right now?
Oh, it feels great, man. It feels good to be out there and doing what I know I can do. And it's just every time I'm getting better and better. So I'm excited to see the final product of Sergio Pettis.
Congratulations, Sergio. I mean, like we said, you kept this fight standing, but when he was able to take you down, you got right back up. How important was that in this fight?
Oh, super important. You know what? I thought I was going to be a lot stronger than what he was, to be honest. Maybe I'm just getting into more of a man body, but I just felt like, I was ready for it all. I knew what he was going to do. I don't think he knew what I was going to do. So that was a difference tonight.
And some special stuff going on with This Sport. Your teammate tonight, Raufeon Stots, won. He said that he wants you to enjoy that title, and he wants to play bodyguard for you in the division and take out top contenders. He takes out top contenders. How does that sound?
I mean, it sounds great, but at the end of the day, I'm not here to take away anybody's opportunity. I know Raufeon's trying to be number one as well, and I'm just a man that's in front of him. He's got a family to feed. He's got another kid coming up in about 2 or 3 weeks. So, whatever happens, happens. I love Raufeon. He's been a brother to me, a great teammate. So, I'm not in control of that, and he's not in control of that. It's just, that's what happens in the sport.
Right here, Sergio. As the fight progressed, your timing got better. You started landing even more power shots. Were you surprised at all by how many strikes he took without going down?
No, Juan's tough, man. I knew he was going to keep on pressing me. I knew he was going to walk through those shots. He's a vet. I mean, he's 25-2, 25-3 as of tonight now, but he's been through a lot, man. He hasn't been stopped. So, I wasn't surprised. I knew a couple of shots rocked him. I saw his ankles kind of rolling a little bit, but I just had to stay on my game plan, try to stay composed. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not much of a finisher out there. I have that. I know I have that in me, and I know it's gonna come out eventually. But I feel with more time that I'm gonna get that side of me. So I stay true to myself tonight. Thank you.
All right, we'll take a few more questions here. Darren.
Thank you for having me, Sergio. Congratulations. Everyone always focuses on the big lead up to a big fight like this. But what I want to know is, what do you do for the week or two after the fight when you have the championship and you can relax a little bit?
I'm going to go home, get to my dogs, Princeton and Kingston, spend some time with my lady, Carmen. I've been so busy. Her birthday was like 7 days ago. So she allowed me just to focus on the fight, not worry about getting her a birthday present or even spending time with her that day. So Yeah, I'm gonna go spend time with the fam.
Nice. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Dylan, go ahead.
Hey there, Sergio. Big congratulations there, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm just wondering, because media leading to this one, you indicated a strong level of pride about fighting a Cinco de Mayo. I'm kind of wondering, like, how satisfying it is to win a fight whereby you largely showcase sophisticated boxing.
Oh, it was awesome, man. You know, I went out there and trusted my boxing. Big shout out to AMC Boxing in Milwaukee. They helped me out. Ellen, Rodell. They had some younger amateur boxers that put in the pace on me. These kids are only like 16 and the other kids like 20. So it's been amazing, man. Do out there and trust my boxing, trust my instincts, especially 2 days after Cinco de Mayo. Now it's time to go have some fun, get some tacos, and enjoy life a little bit.
Sean?
Sergio, congratulations on bringing home the title. You know, do you feel like the real celebrating will begin when you have a rematch in front of fans? So your family, your friends, your teammates can all participate and, you know, get to see you perform and celebrate after another victory?
Oh, sorry, I kind of missed that question a little bit. Sorry.
I was asking, next time you fight, would you like it to be in front of fans? That way you could have a proper celebration.
Oh, yeah, man. I would love that, honestly.
A rematch?
Sure. I don't know if it's a rematch just based off the scorecards of, you know, what happened, but whoever's up for the challenge next, I would love to fight in front of fans and supporters. And, you know, to me, truly it does an honest, you know, I'm really focused on being in there. So with or without fans, it's just an honor to be in that cage and doing what I love to do every day.
One or two more here, Santiago.
Hi, Sergio. Congratulations on winning the belt.
We
could hear Duke coaching you during the fight, and he said a couple of times, Sergio, just like in the Benavides fight. What does Duke mean exactly with that, and how important is he for you in your corner?
You know, during that fight with Benavides, I was just reading. You know, I was able to react to everything he was throwing at me without getting striked up too much. And he actually told me going into this fight, it's just another Joseph Benavides fight, just a little bit bigger. And exactly was that. And Duke's been amazing in my corner for my coaching, also in my life in general. He's taught me so much from the age of 13. I've been with Coach Duke. So this is my 10th year professional fighting this year. So yeah, man, we're just gonna keep on rolling and keep on going.
Last one, Maria.
Sergio, congratulations on the title win. Wanted to ask you, were just talking about the comparisons to the Benavides fight. It was really clear starting in about the third round that you forced Archuleta's movement to change. So instead of the dynamic movement that we're used to seeing, he started coming a lot more straight at you than in the earlier rounds. Is this something that you guys focused on in your training? And was there anyone in particular that you worked with to mimic the way that Archuleta moves?
Yeah, I honestly, Mark Chowinski, man, he moved exactly how Archuleta moved in and out. He's a stronger wrestler than Juan Archuleta, so it was a awesome, you know, had to have him in my corner and to have him out here coaching me. Not only that, man, the mentality that he was giving me, you know, he gave me some books, he gave me some new perspectives to really trust in myself. And the kid's, he's not a kid, the man's 2 years younger than me.
It was really
so
clear.
It's awesome to see that level of maturity and to have that around me in my camp.
One more, Sam.
Hey, Sergio, congratulations on winning that belt. Feels like every week this year, people are being forced to wake up to how much elite MMA there is outside of the UFC in all different promotions. Here you are, a guy who had success in the UFC, and now you're the face of one of Bellator's most exciting divisions. I was wondering, what does that mean to you, like representing the Bellator banner, being one of the faces of the organization now, and sort of being a showcase for how much great elite MMA there is outside of just the UFC?
It feels great, man. Big thank you to Scott Coker and Bellator for giving me this opportunity. I feel like I was on my way, you know, to becoming a champ in the UFC as well, but I just didn't have the time or the star power that they want me to have. You know, I'm a pretty normal dude out here, honestly. I love to train. I love to fight. I got 2 dogs and a lady. I don't do too much outside of that. Not really big into fashion or shining the way that they want me to shine or, you know, promoting myself on social media. And I'm really the opposite of that, to be honest. So it's awesome that Bellator allows me to be myself and put no pressure on me. And I'm able to have these great performances and truly believe in myself. And big thank you to everybody behind the scenes at Bellator. You guys are amazing, putting everything together so well and taking care of all the fighters. You guys do a A+ job. So thank you guys.
All right. Thanks for the time, Sergio. Congrats on the win.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Next up, we have Scott Coker.
Okay. Ready to go?
We are now being joined by Scott Coker. Go ahead, Nolan.
Scott, Bellator 258's in the books, and you have a new bantamweight champion. What did you think of Sergio Pettis' performance tonight?
You know what? I think that he did a great job. Juan is a tough fighter. He's a guy that brings a lot of pressure, and I think he was a really effective counterpuncher. And a lot of times he'll beat him to the punch. So, you know, I think he had a good strategy. And Juan seemed like he had a hard time holding him down, keeping him down, and he couldn't grind him out, and became a striking contest. And Sergio, you know, was more effective in striking.
After the fight, Sergio called for Kyoji Horiguchi. Do you think that that's a possibility that you and RIZIN could get together and do another cross promotion fight like that?
You know, I think the only reason why we're not working together right now is because of COVID, to be honest. So, you know, once that situation kind of, you know, goes away, or I definitely see light at the end of the tunnel. And then we'll start working together at some point, I'm sure. And we'll check in from time to time with Isaki Ibarra and see where he's at. But, you know, we'd love to have Horiguchi come and fight Pettis at some point.
Michael Venom Page opened the main card with quite a performance. I mean, how impressed were you? And where do you think that, what kind of opportunity do you think he earned himself tonight?
I mean, Michael, I mean, he's one of my favorite fighters I've ever promoted. And the guy is so talented. He does things that not too many people can do. And especially in mixed martial arts. I mean, it's just a different kind of sport than traditional karate, but he's using traditional karate techniques that are working very effective in MMA. So to me, it's really for me fun to watch somebody that kind of skill really you know, put it together and make it happen in the cage. So, you know, who he fights next, I mean I think he's right up there. I mean, I think he's ranked number 2 now in the contention. So, you know, we have Lima fighting in the fight coming up on June 11th on Showtime. After that, you know, we'll talk to Michael and see, you know, what's going on. But to me, he's right up there in the title contention, in my opinion.
Scott, Rumble Johnson came back, first fight in over 4 years, gets the knockout win in the second round. But he said, in terms of fights, win or lose, this was the most disappointing night of his career. What are your thoughts on his performance and the fact that he feels like he let everybody down in a way?
Oh, I don't feel like that at all. Listen, this guy has been out for 4 years. And you know what? I was just telling somebody else this story. You know, I held another tournament back in 2011. And there's a kid named Daniel Cormier that was the alternate that came out of nowhere and just started beating everybody up. And you know what? Jose was that guy. He was a guy that's very dangerous, that can strike. He's on a 5-fight win streak, I believe, or 4-fight win streak. And when you're training for an opponent like Rumble has been training for Romero, then all of a sudden it's a curveball for him too. It's really, you know, I think unfair to judge him just based on this fight, because he's been training for Romero, who is primarily a wrestler, a grinder, and so now we throw a completely different opponent there. and he got caught. Listen, everybody gets caught in this sport. It's going to happen. But at the end of the day, he did what he had to do. He overcame the obstacle. He won in tremendous fashion. I think it was, one of the biggest knockouts I've seen here in a while. And, now he moves forward to fight Nemkov. So there's been a lot of great action for him ahead. And I don't think he should be disappointed at all. I think, the fighters sometimes are their worst critic. And I think when he watches the tape, he'll see he got caught. It happens, but he overcame. So that's the most important thing in the victory.
The fight between Peter Queally and Patricky Pitbull lived up to the hype. Those two guys went at it. Ended kind of in a controversial way with the cut. What did you think of the stoppage of the fight?
Well, I'll tell you, as a fan, you hate to see fights get stopped, but he was cut, in a bad way and in two places, and they couldn't stop the bleeding. So, I think it was the right decision by the doctors to stop that fight. But to me, I was telling the coaches and his brother, hey, we could put the rematch together at some point. I know Peter wants to fight, for the title against Fabricio, but Fabricio's going to be busy with AJ here coming up. We'll have a date to announce, in the next week or so. But we're going to put that fight together. And after that, who knows? But in the meantime, I wouldn't mind seeing a rematch of that fight, to be honest, because I think, honestly, that Pitbull was maybe a little bit ahead on the scorecards, until the fight ended.
And then last thing for me, I think the most popular guy on this card was the guy that was supposed to fight on this card, but then didn't end up fighting. Everybody called out James Gallagher tonight. It was like 4 or 5 different guys. Raufeon Stots, Johnny Campbell after his upset win, and then Patchy Mix had a lot to say, amongst others. What are your thoughts on that? Is there kind of a front runner in your eyes on the James Gallagher sweepstakes?
I mean, I think it depends on when he's ready to fight again. And, these other guys are going to stay busy. And, people love to fight James, and he loves to talk about it as much as he can. So we'll have a great promotion when it happens, no matter who he fights. But, depending on when his injury heals and he's ready to come back, that'll determine who he fights at that time.
Scott, MVP with a huge win tonight against a ranked opponent. Do you think this finally ends the silly narrative that, MVP only fights trash cans?
That I never understood. People give him a bad time online, and I'm thinking to myself, this guy is such a highly skilled mixed martial arts athlete and has a traditional karate background, which you saw today, right? And it's very effective. And, people give him a bad time. And I never understood it because, he's fought, some of the world's best. He fought Douglas Lima as a title holder, I think it was the semifinals in Chicago, I believe. And he got caught, but Douglas Lima told me, he said, Coker, that guy he hit me and he hurt me. He's one of the few guys that Douglas has told me that he's gotten hurt by the opponent. So to me, the guy is explosive. He's fast. He's got a lot of power. He can knock people out. He's a dangerous guy for anybody because his style is so unorthodox. It's going to be interesting for any athlete to try to overcome that because, if you're a wrestler, you try to take him down, you might end up with a knee in your face, right? And he's fast and I think that when he fights, I think he deserves a title shot. So let's see what happens with the Lima fight. But depending on what happens and when MVP wants to fight again, I don't think a title shot is out of the question, to be honest.
And Bellator just announced an interim heavyweight title fight. Could we also see that for the lightweight division in the future?
The reason why we did the heavyweight interim was, and we don't traditionally do those. We have never done it in the history of the company, is because it's been such a long time, that this title's been sitting out there, and Bader is actively in our tournament with an ending that might be, end of the year. So we didn't want to have it sitting out there, longer than we need to. So for the heavyweight championship, we felt good because, these guys could fight. When Bader fights, if he keeps winning, he fights at the end of the year. Maybe at the beginning of next year, he could fight the champ that wins the interim. But for the 155, Patricio is pretty much going to be done with this featherweight tournament in let's say mid-July or in that time frame. So you have a couple months to wait, and then after that, he can go defend his lightweight belt. So you can see Fabricio fighting for the lightweight belt probably I would say September, October. So I feel like that's why we don't need to do the lightweight belt for interim.
All right, we'll take a couple more here. Giancarlo.
Hi, Scott. Tonight was a great showcase for your bantamweight division. Can you just talk about the quality of that division? And is this, as more fighters come out of this, are they making a case for themselves to be the next Grand Prix that you guys go with?
The Grand Prix hasn't been determined, but what I will say is, if you look at the quality of fighters in this division, it's stacked. And I think of fighters like Magomedov. I think about the two gentlemen that just fought tonight. I think about Horiguchi coming in. And when you start stacking this division and all the young talent that we have coming up, it's going to be, a formidable division. And whether it's our tournament or not, that's been undetermined. We're focusing on the light heavyweight tournament right now. And then we'll decide what we do maybe, come September.
Darren?
Scott, as weird as it is to say, we're almost halfway through the year, and most companies within the sports world have had to scale back over the last year or two. Bellator is continuing to grow. So I'm wondering if you have an accomplishment that you're most proud of so far, as we're almost halfway into 2021.
I'll tell you, this is, something. There have been a lot of challenges, a lot of adversity in keeping this company going in the COVID world. And as you guys can see here, we're still in the bubble, a lot of restrictions. My staff's been here almost for a month, putting these fights on together. And so it's a challenge, but when I think about the victories, this is the greatest roster in the history of Bellator. And it's taken about 5.5, 6 years to put this roster together. If you think about our new television deal with Showtime, I think that's a great opportunity. You have, it's the best combat deal in sports, because you have 22 boxing fights a year. You have 22 MMA fights a year. You get 44 fights of combat sports on Showtime, and it's just part of the package. So to me, the new relationship with Showtime has been a game changer for us. And I think that they've done such a great job helping us grow this brand. And when I think about the roster and getting the fighters like AJ McKee or, other fighters that we're developing from ground zero to the point where they can now fight in the big fights here in this company is very important, because, we said before, you can buy free agents from the top down, which we will, and we have, but you also have to build from the ground up. And that's what we've been very successful in doing.
Dylan?
Hey there, Scott. I was just curious because there had been prior media appearances where you were saying that you're expecting to have an opponent solidified for Fedor Emelianenko, and even could coincide with the Bellator 258 show that went down tonight there. Do you have any updates or specifics on the next opponent for Fedor?
Yes, unfortunately, we don't have anything to announce today. We're still working through some things on location. It's been a little bit challenging, but he will fight sometime in the fall. I think that he'll be here for Moldavsky to fight Johnson. So hopefully we'll have something to announce at that time.
One or two more. Santiago?
Hi, Scott. Greetings from Amsterdam and congratulations on a beautiful night of fights. Is a middleweight title fight between champion Gegard Mousasi and Yoel Romero something you would entertain in the future? And do you think that would be the biggest middleweight title fight of all time in Bellator with two massive stars?
I think that would be a fun fight to watch. I'm not sure if Romero can make to 185 right now, but who knows in the future? Maybe that fight can happen. Right now, it's not on the books. We have to, I think Yoel has to get a couple fights, a couple wins. If he can get a couple wins, then maybe he can fight Gegard. But as far as a fan, yeah, I would love to see that fight. That would be amazing.
Maria?
Hi, Scott. Wonderful event this evening. With the performance of both of the fighters in the main event and the fact that the bantamweight division is just stacked with killers right now, do you anticipate, or can you speak to the idea of whether or not you would see Sergio's first title defense being a rematch against Archuleta, or would he be more than likely competing against one of the other guys in the top of the division?
That's something that I'd like to go back and talk to the fight team, which I will. And, and then once we figure out, take a look at the opponents and maybe who is going to be ranked number 2 or 3, and then we can circle back. But right now, we're just not ready to make that commitment. I want Sergio to enjoy his win. Personally, a rematch would be great. Fight against Magomedov would be great too. Fight with Horiguchi would be great. There's going to be a lot of options for this for Sergio to defend. But if you're asking me tonight, it's really uncertain, and we'll have some more clarity maybe in the next week or so.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Scott. Appreciate it.